So this week, can we make this tray spooky? Let's see. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel.
Hello.
So we decided to have a go at making a spooky tray. And as you know, Kirk has won several challenges.
A couple, yeah.
So I thought I'd raise my game this week, like really raise my game. And if I don't win this week, I'm just going to quit. I'm going to rage quit.
We'll just call it Kirk's challenge, where you participate.
Yes, basically. So you've seen the tray. I thought it would be quite cool if it was like a sort of Indiana Jones kind of thing in the woods where you would go and get some potions or something. That's kind of where I was going with it.
Okay.
So the first thing I did was make this this pebble out of AquaCast, and I've cut to size a little silicone inlay, I suppose, to fit that bottle. And in that bottle, I'm going to make a fairy blood potion. When I say fairy blood, no actual fairies were harmed in the making of this video. It's literally just water and mica powder and a bit of glycerin. Now, I know that there are lots of YouTube videos that say you should use alcohol and lots of other things, but I didn't want to do that. I did it my way.
You winged it.
I did it my way because potentially I might end up reusing the bottles for something else. So I wasn't sure if I liked the first one. So then I made a second potion and I thought I'd go with green.
That's a nice colour.
It was really nice, but it didn't have that thing that I wanted. So I added some neon powder. Now, top tip, neon powder does not dissolve at all. I shook this stuff like my life depended on it. Like I got arm ache. I was shaking it so hard. Honestly, my shoulders still have not recovered. And it didn't matter what I did. That neon powder was not going anywhere. So because I'd only used water, I was able to dispose of it safely and start again, which is exactly what I did. I, again, popped in some water. Oh, I had a thought about using some diamond mica powder to give it a shimmer. Nice. And I really liked that effect, but I didn't want that colour. So I went back to my fairy blood colour and added the diamond mica powder to that, little smidgen of glycerin, and that was the effect I was going for. That's nice. I was really pleased with that.
Yeah.
So little overspill there. I thought I'd top that one up because I'll make some Halloween decoration.
You just thought
for when the grandchildren come over. Yeah. So by this time, the AquaCast was set, and I just wanted to rough up that sort of. It was too exact, unfortunately. So I just needed to rough up the hole a bit, which is what I did with a craft knife. Because when you first demold AquaCast, it's really quite soft, and it's not, I wouldn't say it's brittle, but it is nice and soft.
It's not as hard as when you left it for a day.
So then I thought I would have a go with some clay.
Ooh.
I know. So I had a set of Fimo for Christmas, and I've never really used it. So I took some greens, and what I wanted was a light green, a sort of medium green, and then quite a deep green.
Yeah.
So I tried to accomplish that by mixing the three greens that I had.
Ooh.
I know. It's very sharp, that blade. It's very sharp. You should have someone's finger off with it.
For something to eat.
if you're a squirrel. So I then it was a case of blending it all in and doing all that. I couldn't use the rolling machine because there was an unfortunate accident with the rolling machine. a little bit like the accident that I have with my camera, where I completely forgot to press record for the rest of that. But essentially what I did is I used the Katie Sue mold that you've seen in our previous videos. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch them by all means. And I made literally hundreds of leaves. I got absolutely carried away making them.
Yeah.
And then I baked them and put them to one side. And then I thought I need to paint this thing. What do you call it? Tray.
The face tray.
Face tray, picture, wall hanging thing. And I wanted to go for a kind of granite, volcanic rock kind of feel.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was using a metallic black, and I didn't like the brush effect that I was getting when I was brushing the paint on. So I stopped doing that. And then because I was using one of my super cheap brushes, I was quite able to just tap, tap, tap and stipple it on. Yeah. So that was really good. And I was quite pleased with how that turned out.
It's soaked in as well. When I you'll see mine in a minute, but when you paint it, it does tend to just absorb it.
It does, because it's not neither of the trays were sealed.
Yeah.
So if I'd sealed them, it would have just sat on top.
Yeah.
But because they're not sealed, the paint it takes paint beautifully. Really, really does.
Yeah, it was quite. It is quite nice to paint.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love AquaCast. I think it's phenomenal stuff. So then, because it was like 9,000 degrees in this room, it dried really, really quickly. But whilst I was waiting for that, I thought it's back to the fairy blood potion. And potions always have this twine on the top. And I'm not joking. That was harder than it looks.
What, wrapping?
It was so fiddly. Yeah.
What, wrapping the twine?
Yeah, because I was wrapping it round and then the top bit would fall down to the bottom. And I was like, I'm obviously doing this wrong. So I chucked that bit away and got a longer bit and did it again. And then and then it just completely unraveled. And I was like, really? So
did you not like glue the end first?
No. That's probably what I should have done. Yeah. I probably should have done that, but I didn't. Anyway, I got it working and it was all fine. So then it was back to the tray. And this time I used a silver grey. And I've got the world's tiniest sponge in my fingers. And I'm just sponging the paint on.
Yeah.
But it went on again. It went on really, really well. It's really nice paints you got.
Yes,
they are really nice paints. Yeah, I can see me painting a few more things.
Do you know, watching you use those?
Yeah.
I now know how you feel.
Yeah.
When you saw me using your stuff.
Wow. Yes. Now you know. Now you know what it feels like when somebody takes my glitter and uses half a tub.
Yeah.
Although
I don't use your stuff and break.
I'm just wondering if there's going to be a delivery of paint next week. Although I won't know because I won't be here.
No. That's a good point.
I know. I always have my stuff delivered when you're not here, and inevitably that's the day they'll be like, "Your stuff will arrive today," and then you'll be like, "I'm working from home today," and I'm like, "Damn it!"
Yeah.
And then 6 deliveries later, he's like, "There's another delivery," and I'm like, "Yes, really?"
Yes.
I would love to say that that's a joke, but it's really not.
Yeah. So some days it looks like a warehouse in here.
A little bit. Anyway, back to the video. So I'm just literally finishing off the paint job there. So I used the tiniest bit of white, and then I got a wonderful tool. It's called an extruder.
Yep. And
you put the clay in one end and squish it out the other end. You'll see me in a minute doing another bit. Again, I forgot to press record. And so I've added what I'm hoping will eventually look like a vine onto the tray. And I'm just trying to make some sort of woody kind of lines along the bit of clay.
Make it look like
to make it look like it's a woody vine. Yeah, because that's what I was going for.
I was gonna say bark, but it's not really bark, is it?
No, it's a vine. It's a soft wood. But yeah. So after I've done that, it's then a case of Oh, here we go. Look,
There's
see?
your extruder.
Yeah. And then I added in some green. And then you just squeeze out little worms of clay. It's so much fun. It's like grown-up Play-Doh. I love it.
Yeah.
And then
I did see that, and I thought,
Play-Doh.
I used to have the little barber shop where you stick him in.
Everybody had the barber. I had the barber shop. I love the barber shop. Yeah, so I wrapped that green round in the hope that it looked a bit like vines, and then I used like a petal. There was a petal shaped one, and I stuck the purple in there, and I squeezed out a purple worm, and then I sliced it really thinly because I'm very. I mean, like, this is literally the first time I've pretty much used clay with any intent. And I don't know how to make flowers, but I thought that shape looks a bit like a flower petal. So if I stick 4 together,
5
or 5 together, 4 or 5, there might be 1 or 2. There's only 4. It will look like flowers, and then I can just sort of transfer it onto the vine, and it will look like flowers, if nothing else. So, you know. And if they don't, I thought, well, if you just squint and turn your head a little bit, they definitely will.
Yeah, if you turn the lights off and look at it,
they'll definitely look like flowers. So that was my intent.
They're definitely looking flower-like from here.
But I was genuinely quite pleased with myself. I was like, wow, check me out.
I know.
Little Miss Clay Girl.
It's like a proper crafter.
It's like I'm a proper crafter,
I know.
isn't it? I know. And then it was
leaves.
it was adding in the leaves and the flowers. Now I've stuck the little shelf on with a lump of clay at the moment.
Just to keep it in place.
Yeah, just to keep it in place so that I don't end up putting something where I'm going to have that bottle, because I wasn't sure how close the bottle would sit to the actual tray itself.
Yeah. So you're dipping the end of there in
the bacon bond.
Bacon bond.
In the bake and bond.
Yes.
Which I am reliably told is essentially clay glue. Why we can't just call it clay glue, because I don't know.
You have to cook it.
But it's glue. For clay.
Yes.
Therefore, clay glue.
But you have to bake it.
Well,
to make it bond.
Yeah, but you have to bake a cake, but we don't call it cakey bake, do we? Or bacon cake. No.
A cake bake.
In any case, I'm now it went back in the oven, and now I'm just sticking that shelf down with some of the bonding UV, and there were a couple of bits where the clay didn't take to the tray, so I've just put a tiny bit of UV just to sort of hold that tray in place. And then I painted the eyes white with some white acrylic, and then I thought he needs some eyes, so I have got, from all of the sort of bits and pieces that I've bought over the months, hundreds of these little tiny cabochons. And I saw you watch a YouTube channel, North of the Border.
Yeah.
Like, Kirk's addicted to this channel, where he makes lots of clay things, really, really cool clay things. And I saw him doing these eyes on one of the videos, and I thought, wow, I've got thousands of those. So I thought I'd have a go. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah. So I had a go with a couple of testers, which
they turned out okay.
They did. So I've put a black dot, a black paint dot in the middle of each of the cabochons, and whilst that was drying, I thought I could do with a little scroll. So I thought I'd make a little scroll.
Okay.
So I've got these really nice fancy envelopes that I've had for about 12 years.
Yeah.
That I've only ever used 4 of.
Yeah.
Because I bought them for I can't remember, something or other, but they're really nice. It's really nice paper, and I thought that is a perfect scroll. So I made it, and then I am no calligrapher by any stretch of the imagination, and there was no way I was printing out something small enough to go on there. I know that some people do. I've no idea how they do it, and I didn't really.
It's neater than mine.
I didn't really care to learn. So I brought it up on the screen and I just tried to copy it to the very best of my ability. But to be fair, if you imagine that the person who wrote it was the fairy that's just lost all her blood, so, you know, it's not going to be that neat, is it?
The fairy that's just lost all of her blood?
Yeah, the fairy that's got all her blood in that bottle.
So all of her blood is in that bottle?
Yeah, and she's written a scroll.
And she's wrote a note to say, this is my blood?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to, like, put it back in or get some assistance.
That's exactly what's happened. Then I thought, what does a scroll need? It needs a ribbon. So I've got some purple ribbon that we use for our shop.
Yeah.
And yeah, that didn't work. It basically shredded because I needed it really small. And I thought, how can I make this so that it does? So I got some dam paper and stuck the ribbon to it and then stuck a load of UV on it. And I thought, that'll keep it in one piece.
That's actually, a good idea.
I know. I was really proud of myself. I was proper, like, I'm really in there.
You thinking outside of the box?
I know. So once it had cured, I cut it up to shape, and got the size I wanted, got the little shapes that I wanted at the bottom, give it a little curl, and then I was going to put one in one end and one in the other, and I thought, no, I don't like the look of that. So then I stuck both bits of ribbon in the one end of the scroll, and I was quite happy with it. I was very pleased with how it turned out.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. And then it was back to the eyes. So you can see I've got a couple of practice ones there. And then I did quite a few because I thought, well, if they don't go right.
Yeah, just to practice. Yeah, so it was just a black dot in the middle, let that dry, and then do some
a light
lines
colour
going from the middle to about halfway.
Yeah.
And then once that's dried, stipple the
back. Darker colour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I thought I'll just use a black acrylic pen just to give the eyes a bit more definition.
Eyeliner.
A bit of eyeliner. She needs a bit of eyeliner.
I mean, what stone shelf doesn't need eyeliner?
What stone thingy, magic stone thingy, doesn't need eyeliner?
Yeah.
Frankly. And then a bit of glue to stick the eyes on. And I ummed and ahed about putting a bit of UV around them, and I thought, no, I'll mess it up if I do it then.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm not risking it. I'm potentially onto a winner here. I'm not risking it. And that was me done.
Yeah. And so I looked at it and I thought, I'm going to make a stone. It looked like how can I explain it? Like like you see a portal.
Mm-hmm.
So you get this like little stone,
it's like an Aztec portal kind of thing.
Like the mouth opens and there's a portal there, and you go through the portal to somewhere else. So I sanded it down a bit just to give the paint a bit of something to grip to, but also to make it a little bit more
textured.
Yeah.
Even though it's AquaCast, it doesn't need it.
Well, I don't use the stuff, do I? So I was, and it felt smooth. So
it was smooth.
Yeah. So I got my sponge and I tried a bit on the back just to make sure that I got it right. Covered the eyes in some clay, so I didn't want to get it in the eyes. And then I'm just stippling on a light grey, and then adding a bit of a darker, a bit of black just to make it a little bit darker. And then I'm just alternating between the darker and the lighter colour just to get the sort of
texture effect.
Yeah.
It's
just like it's a weathered stone.
Yeah.
So it's like a concrete stone, but it's been in the elements for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just dotting some darker bits as well there, just to get the contrast that you see from a stone. Really,
it's very effective.
So
you like AquaCast now?
I like the fact that you make the stuff and I just do stuff with it.
So you're happily. So basically, you're going to be like, I want to make blah blah. Can you make me something?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So this is my first attempt at the eyes.
Okay.
So I just did a base of a silver,
Mm-hmm.
and then I thought I'd just draw, because on that mold there is an actual eye.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll just trace that and see, and then I'll stick a pupil in there. But uh, I wasn't overly happy with how it turned out.
Okay. Why?
Um, so I tried to do the little line to the
Yeah.
eyes and that, and then different colours in there. But I don't know. It didn't say spooky, creepy portal face,
Okay.
and
No, that's saying demon face. That is. That says demon.
well, that's what I went with in the end. I thought I'll try the red, but yeah, didn't like it. So I think I eventually just go over the top of it again with a different colour, just to yeah, I just didn't. It wasn't going well.
You didn't like it.
I wasn't feeling it.
Well, see.
It's yeah, it just didn't.
It didn't work for
no,
you.
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling it. So I thought, no, okay.
At this point,
So-
you've rage quit and just painted the whole eye red.
So I thought, okay, demon portal. It's gonna have some great big, big
Red
red
eyes.
eyes. And then
Yeah.
I thought maybe what I'll do is I'll put like a demon slit in the middle,
Yeah.
but that didn't work. And then I got this portal, which I printed off and then cut to size. And then I got this magic paper.
That was my idea.
Yes, it was.
You're welcome.
And covered the top, and then cut it to size, and then did the back. And I think the effect of that holographic effect,
Yeah, it's really nice
looks
paper.
really good.
It is really good paper.
And I did have to trim the sides a little bit just to make sure that it fit in there properly. But yeah, that stuff is really good. I shall look forward to using more of that.
What? No. No.
It was your idea. It's your own fault.
It was, but I did think it would save the Mod Podge.
Well,
no, I did think it would give it a bit of
something.
Yeah. To quote Claire.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going through, just making sure that I'm painting a bit more of the edge, so that you don't see any of the white in there, just in case I've not cut it properly and
painted it in quite right. Yeah.
So going around there, and then it's just putting in, stippling a little bit more just to make sure, and then putting that in, just giving it a little trim just to make sure that it fits flush in the bottom. And that took me a lot longer than it should have, really.
You were doing that for absolutely ages.
I think trimming it down and that, it must have taken me an hour or so.
Oh yeah, easily took you an hour or so. Every time I looked over, you were like still faff, and I was like, flipping heck. He's actually gone through. I thought you'd actually going to go through it. It was going to be that realistic, but no, it turns out you were just shaping it.
If only. That'd be quite cool. Have your own little portal. Although you'd have to be quite small to go through.
I was going to say, how small would you have to be to fit through that portal?
It can be for the people that the same size as the ones that use your whisk.
Oh, on the whisk. You've got to get over the whisk.
Well, it's quite easy because it's extremely small.
Everyone has a whisk that size, pretty much.
No.
Well, who doesn't?
Me?
You don't do AquaCast.
Well, I've not seen one that small.
Okay. Next time I see one, I'm going to be screenshotting and going, look, there's a whisk that small.
Okay.
There's a whisk that small. So there.
So this is where I draw the line down the eye just to see, and I thought, no, it's not. So bit of the resin. So I
Mhm.
mixed a little bit. It was only a little bit. I think it was about 40 ml it took, and just put in the portal in, just squidging out all of the bubbles underneath, and that took quite a while actually,
It
because
does, to be fair.
the other side kept coming up.
Yeah, no, it when you I find that when you put paper in, it takes ages.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do it very often.
Well, I've never done that before, so it was it did take quite a while.
Yeah.
And I was pushing all the bubbles out, and then like it would come back down and suck another bubble in.
Yeah.
So yeah, but just going through, I think I spent about 10-15 minutes going through, and then I thought,
And then we're back to the eyes again.
To the eyes, yeah. So yeah, I went over the eyes again with a bit of I think that's silver again.
Yeah.
So it's the same sort of color as the stone.
Yeah.
And I thought I'll just go over it. I'll just give that silver as a bit of a base coat, and then I'm just going to go over it again, but I go over it with the red.
Yes.
And then I thought, I'm no good at making eyes or pupils.
There's your videos. There's your post-it saying
my post-its, yeah.
our super post-it hack.
Top tip.
Yeah, that tells you what you're about to record.
Yeah, and how many takes.
How many takes? And I don't know if you noticed, there was about
10
on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is a bit of
copper pouring acrylic.
Yeah.
Which just means it's quite viscous, doesn't it? Quite liquidy.
Yeah. And the fact that it's got about 20 coats of paint on there for those eyes already, I thought maybe I'll just use a runnier one.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just did make the demony bronzy eyes.
And that was pretty much you done, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, mine wasn't as intricate as yours.
Mine did take quite a little while.
No equipment was broken during the making of my process.
He's referring to the fact I may or may not have used his pasta machine and then it broke. But there is no evidence that it was me that broke it. In any case, moving on rapidly moving on. If anyone is still with us at this point, please do feel free to like the video. And if you've not already subscribed, please do consider doing so, because it does help our channel. And we would absolutely love to grow this channel. We are having so much fun making these videos. And more importantly,
don't forget to vote for me.
More importantly, let us know in the comments which of the two trays you prefer. The glamour shots are coming up.
Yep.
Mine's the vine, and Kirk's is the portal one.
Demon portal.
The demon portal. And if you can't remember, I'll pop a note on our community tab with a poll, so you can feel free to cast your vote there.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's it.
We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Bye.